So today we're going to continue with our 80/20 power curve. Will be part 2, and we will go in more details and in a very practical way. So I will show you how this actually applies to your business, what you need to do, what you can do, what you should do. And then I will tell you the theory of expanding universe and how you can conquer the planet Earth with your marketing. There will be some math, and I want you to take it very seriously because this is basically the foundation of every successful business. So in the last video, we talked about how an offer suit actually works. And we know there are, people have heard about offer suits. In German, it's called offer letter. But people usually don't really know what's the principle behind it, why it works. So we discussed how this actually works. And now you are like the very low percentage of people who know this principle. And we also discussed how to maximize your revenue to make sure that you make the most out of every customer, that you have something to offer for every customer there along this offer suit. And we also discussed what a power curve actually looks like. And if you remember, I showed you an example that in every given population, every given group of people, let's say it's an Ed Sheeran concert or a football match or 20 clients that came to your workshop, there will be some, like all of them will pay, let's say 100 euros. And there will be some that will be not willing to pay so much. They will be hesitant to pay anything at all. Yeah. And this will be the people on the left of this power curve. But there will also be 20% of people on the right end of the power curve who are willing to pay way more than the rest. In fact, usually more than 4 times. That means that in every given group of people, including your customer base, there is this 20% who is willing to pay way more for way more value and a premium approach, personalized approach. And today we are going to explore how to give this to them. The biggest problem that I see in most starting entrepreneurs is that they do not know how to correctly price their offers or the whole offer suit. And why would they? I mean, you didn't go to study marketing. Most of the entrepreneurs who start these days, they don't even know anything about how business really works, and that's okay. I'm going to show you how this actually works so you can apply this to your business and so you don't go broke. We're going to explore how to price your offer so you can make more money from every single customer. And this is what we want to achieve. When you have done all this work acquiring clients, you need to make sure that you can maximize the amount from those clients that you can earn. Because acquiring clients typically costs 7 times more than retaining customers. So this is why we always need to evolve our offer so we have more that we can offer to our customers. And we need to evolve our offer so we can find that 20% that is willing to pay more. So let's start with an example. Let's say you're a life coach or a tutor. Like my husband has a tutoring company and he offers 3 packages for tutoring based on how many hours are included in every package. So let's say you start at a 4-hour package for 200 euros, then you have 8-hour package for 370 euros, because the more hours you usually sell, the less it actually costs per hour. And then you go for 16-hour package for 700 euros. So the average order will be somewhere between either these 2 packages or these 2 packages. And let's say in your case, it is 320 euros, because most of the people will start with this one, and then there will be some who will continue with this one, and then probably the problem is solved, or if there are some that know that they need it over a continuous amount of time, but usually the entry point will be the lowest package. What we see here is a typical example of what an offer suit is not. Even though you are offering these three packages at higher prices each, this is not an offer suit. No, no, no. So don't think that you have this all figured out if you have come up with three packages. An offer suit answers the question of how much value does the customer get if they pay the premium price. And in this system, the customer gets the same value. The only variable is the amount of hours that they need to get that value. So some are quick learners and might accomplish this within 4 hours. Some are slow learners and will need 16 hours. But the value stays the same. But the offer suit increases the value with every tier. So that is why we need to make sure that if you want to create a premium offer, and you have to create a premium offer, you also add something that increases the value of your offer while at the same time delivering the same thing. And that is possible because 20%, according to the power curve, 20% of your customers will want something personalized, hands-on, something premium, something where what others don't get, where they can work with you way deeper. So what could you do to increase the average value from 320 to, for example, 700? What could you include in addition to those packages to raise the price of the package to 2,000 euros? First example is continuous WhatsApp support. And I'm including this one because I know that one of you has a client who actually continuously texts you on WhatsApp. And I'm wondering why not to turn this into a monetizable opportunity. Let's say you have these packages, but in addition, if a client wants more personalized touch, you also offer an opportunity to contact you per WhatsApp within, of course, working hours. Has to be reasonable, not like during the night or weekends, but it still is way better than just giving that 1 hour per week. Yeah. So you give this opportunity to write to you, you set the answering hours, but it already skyrockets your value that you deliver with those packages. Then, for example, when somebody says yes, they want to go for a premium package, you can include pre-recorded masterclasses from yourself or other specialists that can cover the same problem but from different angles, something that you don't deliver, but it really would give way more value to this customer and would make sure that they really get all the help they need. And then you can create a combination of things like one-to-one that you already offer anyway to look over the shoulder. Look over the shoulder is something that many underestimate, and eventually something that you don't have to do yourself when you grow. You can also outsource this trivial client work to, for example, an assistant. But look over the shoulder is something that many people need. For example, in my husband's company, in addition to tutoring, he also offers learning support. So this is not tutors who do this. These are people who are just very well organized and good with kids, and they just come and they look at the homework, prioritize the work in terms like when what is due, and they just sit there with the children while they do their homework. And trust me, grown-ups need the same. There are some people who are not consistent, who cannot force themselves, who lack discipline. They cannot keep themselves accountable for their own stuff. So sitting down and doing homework that you give them, and all of us, I mean, I always give homework to my clients. It's really hard for them to do this. So if you were to offer additionally once per week, 1 or 2 hour look over the shoulder, there you go. Another reason to bump your price from 2,000 to even 3,000. And then another thing that is way lower effort and less time consuming is small group sessions. Small group sessions like our Personal Branding University is great because you get to learn from cases and examples of other people. And learning from others is actually a perfect way to prevent mistakes that we can make because we have seen others make them. So this is actually really great. And doing a small group session once per week will allow you to put way more people together and will reduce the time that you will need to spend on those people, so to say. And then another thing is a community group where people can communicate with each other even without you. So my husband is doing now crypto training with a like professional in crypto trading. But he also has a community, and that community sometimes they have online calls even without the trainer. They just want to chat and share their own experiences. So that is very valuable. So this is something that you can do. And if you have an active community, then they create value basically for themselves. So let's have a look how this actually would look like in practice. Like I said, for every amount of customers, there will be 20% of who will pay way more. And according to the power curve, they will actually pay at least 4 times more. So let's say you have 40 customers who have paid you on average 320 euros. So with those 40 customers, you have made 12,800 revenue. According to the power curve, we know that 20% of those 40 customers will be the ones who are willing to pay more. So this is 8 people. So let's say you upsell to those 8 people a more premium package. Just with those 8 people, you will make more money than with those 40 customers. And then the average order value will increase from 320 to 720. And this applies to everyone. The thing is that most people do not upsell anything. They sell one thing, one signature offer, and that's it. They think every client is equal, and they couldn't be further from the truth. The thing with these upsells is that you don't even have to advertise it anywhere. This can be your back end offer that you only upsell to your existing customers. And your front end order is your signature offer that you advertise and promote. So, for example, I don't even have a website page for my backend offer. I offer a retainer service, marketing consultancy, and social media strategies, content creation, depending on the client. It's a retainer offer. I have a Notion page where I have written down these different retainer options and at the offboarding meeting with every client, because they come for my signature offer, which is a one-off project, but because I don't want to stress myself about acquiring new clients all the time, I make sure that for every client with whom I finish work, I have something further to give. And at the onboarding meeting, I show them what packages I have, then send them this Notion page, and then those who were super happy working with me and are ready to pay more, book the retainer. And this is possible for everyone. You just need to develop that premium back-end offer that you upsell to those clients who come to you and who will be willing to pay more. So that is why what I want you to do, start with your signature offer, develop it. Of course, this will be the thing that we are launching. And then develop your premium offer in the back end without screaming about it to people, and only whisper it to your existing or former customers. So just like not every customer is equal, not every marketing effort is equal. So the 80/20 curve also applies to your marketing efforts, and it's really important to know so you prioritize the right ones. And I can tell you 100% every one of you is prioritizing the wrong one. So let's have a look at how our marketing efforts are ordered on the power curve. So this is our power curve. On the x-axis is a list of marketing efforts, and on the y-axis is the focus and efficiency. And so we see that we go from right, the most focused and efficient, to left. What do we have here? On the right, we have direct response targeting niche marketing. And on the left, we have mass media, mass marketing, and branding. And what activities are included, like are assigned to each side? On the right, we have paid social media, think Meta, LinkedIn, Google Ads, SEO, email promotion, so email funnels, yeah, exactly, email lists. Number 5 is free social media and podcast, then affiliates, cold emails, banner tools, press releases, and print advertising. So why in this order? Because everything that's related to mass media and mass marketing are things that are high quantity. Yes, if we run a TV commercial, we can reach a shitload of people, but it is very low quality because we cannot control what people we reach. The same applies to social media marketing. It is not controllable. Social media algorithms are not predictable. You cannot control them. That's why you cannot rely on them for your business revenue. On the other hand, paid social media advertising is laser focused. You can optimize and target exactly your target audience. And in the next slide, I will show you, or in 2 slides, I will show you how much it really costs. The thing here is that what every person will be very scared about and why everyone starts with social media is because they think social media is free. But this also couldn't be further from the truth. The time that you spend on social media amounts to a lot of money because let's say 1 hour of your work costs 100 euros. So, and you spend 2 hours every week on content creation. So over a month, that's 8 hours, 800 euros that you spend without getting anything back to your business, not a single cent, because getting leads through social media is extremely hard. You need to really laser focus your strategy and your content for lead generation. Most of the people, like 99% of people, are doing it wrong. Also, the more we go to the left, it's not only lower quality, but it's also more expensive because if you think about press releases in articles and magazines or radio or TV advertising, that's like extremely expensive. So while we think social media is free, yes, as long as our hour doesn't cost anything, it is free. But if our hours cost a lot, which you could rather spend on real lead acquisition, like targeted lead acquisition or client work, then social media is actually very expensive per month. So let's have a look at, and yeah, this is why in this order. So on the left, high quantity, low quality, less controllable or more expensive. On the right, controllable, laser targeted, high quality, but low quantity, which doesn't matter. If you can bring with 800 euros that you would be spending on social media, if you can bring for that 800 euros 5 really good warm leads through paid ads and earn 5,000, it would be a huge return on your ad spend, and it would be predictable and controllable, and you could plan your business based on that. So most people are starting their business and they're afraid to invest in advertising. Actually, there are so many people starting their business without any budget to invest. And in that case, I actually am very frank to say that better to not start a business, because I actually do not see a real way how one without any investment can come to, can survive this time when they are not making any money until they actually do. Because you either have investment, you have money to invest to speed up the process, or you have time. And if you don't have money, you have to spend a shitload of time on certain things. And so to get to a certain amount of revenue would take way longer. And I just wonder, how can one pay their rent or food during that time? But the thing is that social media advertising does not even cost as much as most people think. This is a screenshot from my current testing campaign where I test different ads. Because 80/20 curve applies to our ads, just like it applies to our, higher level marketing efforts, just like it applies to our clients and the offers. So if you start with social media advertising and you only start with 2 ads, for example, let's take these ones. We see over here, this column shows efficiency, like effectiveness of the ads. This one cost per click, and this one how many clicks there were. But let's focus on the efficiency, because this is not over the equal amount of time. So while this one has 178 clicks, doesn't mean that it's comparable, because it just ran longer than, for example, this one. But we should look at the efficiency in this case. So what happens with most people? They start and then won't even test 5 ads. And let's take these two. Imagine I had started with just these two. They have a really shitty efficiency, and 1 click cost a shitload of money. If I had started with just these two, I would not have seen any results. I would have wasted my money and I would have given up. And I would said, doesn't bring me anything. What I did instead, I planned 50 ads, and every week I'm testing new ads. So this is just 7, let's say 1 week of testing. And here, just from the 7 ads, I have identified 2 with extremely high efficiency. So if you ever get interested in meta advertising, 2 or 3.5% efficiency, CTR, is extremely high. Benchmark over all industries is actually 1.2%. So this is like a good acceptable number. Having 2% or 3.5% is really, really high efficiency. So had I not created multiple ads, I would not have found those that are very effective and cost very little and bring a lot of clicks. And the thing with advertising is that you don't only test your, ads, you can also test your messaging. In fact, we should test everything. So the first step would be to test 50 ads and to find that 20% that we know will be responsible for 80% of the results. Yes, we will find those. Those will be called winner ads. And then we will take our budget and we will put all of our budget into those winner ads. And just for your reference, I don't have so much advertising budget. I pay 15 euros per day for my ads, which amounts to a bit less than 500 per month. And everyone has to be able to spend 500 euros per month. So yeah, instead of wasting time on social media that doesn't really bring anything, spend half a year optimizing your ads. So yes, you found your winner ads, you put all of your money in there. What do you do then? You don't finish there. in marketing and in business, we have to test everything. We cannot assume that we know what our clients want. We cannot assume that what we wrote on our landing page is perfect. You can come quite close to it if you run a customer survey, you learn their language, and you use what they say the value of your offer is, and you put it on the landing page. But often we start without any customers, especially if we don't run any beta tests. So what we end up putting on the landing page often will not even resonate with our target audience. So we might have the best ads because we have tested them for half a year, but when they come to the landing page, they will bounce because they'll be like, this is nothing for me. So after testing your ads, the next step would be testing your landing page, and you will continuously optimize. You will continuously increase the efficiency and the effectiveness of your ads, of your landing pages, of your offers. If you do this for half a year, if you do this for 1 year, I guarantee you, if you really stay consistent and focused, I will guarantee you that you will be able to scale so much, and you will be able to plan and predict your revenue so well that in the end, you will be able to buy traffic from all the other advertisers because you were the one who actually stuck around, tested as crazy, and assured that your ads are super efficient, super cheap, so you can put a shitload of money and get like shitload of clicks for almost nothing. Yeah. And then when your landing pages are effective and also convert, there you go. And this is only possible when you have controllable systems like ads. I know for many you'll think, okay, but I do not know how to do this. And yes, you do need to learn it. There are plenty YouTube videos. You can come to my workshop. We can have some sort of extra session talking about meta ads. But this is the only way to be sure that you will be able to pay your rent and have food in the next month of your business. The most problem is not only that the most common problem is not only that people don't even test 5 ads, is that they give up too early. They give up too early on testing. They give up too early on social media. This I see all the time. They are like, yes, I'm gonna go viral, and then they post for 1 week, maximum 1 month. Then they're like, okay, that doesn't work. Most people will give up before they see results. If you are the one who makes a plan and who sticks around, who pulls through until the very end, you will be the one of very, very few, top 20%, who will actually get things working, who will actually be able to scale their business. So this brings me to the summary. At any given price point, at any given group, there is 20% of customers, of people who will spend 4 times as much. And a business based on many small transactions, let's say you're selling optimization of a CV, and it costs 100 euros. With just a few very large transactions, you can earn just as much money or more. And even if you're selling CV optimizations, in that group of people who have bought that, there is this 20% who will be willing to pay for more hands-on, personalized touch, where they can work with you, practice interviews, or I don't know, whatever you can think of to include to increase the value of the whole thing. And no matter how much it hurts me to say this, because I am a social media strategist, Forget free social media until you get your sales funnel working and have constant leads coming in. So I want your next steps to be plan your signature offer. Yes, this will be the offer that you launch with the offer that you come out with. Then plan your premium offer in the back end and whisper to every client who comes to you, hey, here's what I have. If you want to do next level, if you want more support, here's what I've got for you. And then I want you to sit down and plan your marketing activities for this year according to the power curve that I showed you. And I hope I managed to convince you that spending 300 euros, like 500, 300, if you don't have 500, spend 300 euros in advertising is way more effective than posting on social media. Because only by using controllable and predictable systems, you can really optimize things, build a strong foundation for your business, and scale over time. Thank you.